Looks like the mystery around Blu Cantrell just got a whole lot darker. The early 2000s R&B star didn't just disappear. Some people are saying she got caught in a dangerous love triangle involving Beyoncé and Jay-Z. Allegedly, Beyoncé wasn't just building her empire. She was clearing the stage, one rival at a time. And Blu? She might have been one of the first targets. Now, Blu wasn't some background act. She had major hits, real talent. And word is, she was getting real close to Jay-Z around the same time he was linking up with Beyoncé. That's where things start looking messy. Because not long after, Blu was found roaming the streets of Santa Monica, barefoot and panicked, screaming that someone tried to poison her. What really happened? Did she actually get targeted? Or was it the pressure and shady politics of the industry that pushed her over the edge?
The same person that robbed me for like $500 for a session ended up being in the studio while I was there with the president.
Either way, the timing raises eyebrows, especially with how fast her career got iced out after all that drama. See, there's been constant talk about Jay and Bey moving like silent assassins in the music game, allegedly blackballing anyone who posed a threat. And while folks always bring up names like Carrie Hilson or LaToya Luckett, Blu Cantrell barely gets mentioned. Maybe that's not a coincidence. Now we gotta ask, was Blu silenced before the world could hear her truth? Let's dig deeper. Let's rewind to the late 90s, before the drama, before the whispers, when Blu Cantrell was just getting started. She was laying down vocals for industry giants like Diddy, quietly building her rep. Then, boom, LA Reid spots her talent and signs her. By July 2001, she dropped her debut album So Blue, and it was an instant hit. Her breakout single, Hit 'Em Up Style, Oops, didn't just climb the charts, it exploded.
Bro, you were singing Fool, and you made a choice to work with someone, and you probably didn't realize how nefarious he was when you got involved with him.
The track earned her 2 Grammy nods and turned her into a rising star overnight. By 2003, she was back at it with her second album, Bittersweet, and fans were eating it up. But that's when things got a little too spicy behind the scenes. Word is, Blu got real close to Jay-Z around 2001, right when he started seeing Beyoncé. And that's where this whole situation turns messy. Beyoncé was just beginning her solo career, focused and fierce. Then suddenly, in 2003, the same year Blu dropped Bittersweet, Beyoncé released her own debut, Dangerously in Love. Coincidence? Not everyone thinks so. Rumors flew that Beyoncé wasn't just threatened by Blu's success. She was also suspicious of how friendly Blu had gotten with Jay. And while Blu always claimed it was just friendship, people weren't buying it, especially after that interview with Wendy Williams. When Wendy asked if anything ever went down between her and Jay, Blu didn't give a straight no. She just giggled nervously and dodged the whole thing. That awkward moment had the streets buzzing. What was she hiding? Let's take it back to the late 90s. Before the scandals, before the rumors, when Blu Cantrell was just grinding behind the scenes. She was putting in work as a background vocalist for big names like Diddy, slowly stacking her credibility. Then, out of nowhere, LA Reid caught wind of her voice and signed her on the spot. By July 2001, she dropped her debut album So Blue, and it blew up. Her hit single, Hit 'Em Up Style, Oops, didn't just top the charts, it shut them down.
Really has them locked down.
I think so. I think they're in love. I think they're in love.
Politics speaking.
No, I really do think they're in love. I have a
2 Grammy nominations later, Blu was officially the next big thing. And she kept the fire going in 2003 with her second album, Bittersweet. Critics were vibing, fans were locked in. But behind the scenes, things started getting real messy. Word on the street is, Blu was getting a little too cozy with Jay-Z in 2001, right around the same time he started linking with Beyoncé. That's where the tensions started simmering. Beyoncé was just launching her solo career, laser-focused on her rise. And then bam, In 2003, the exact same year Bittersweet dropped, Beyoncé released Dangerously in Love. Too close for comfort? People started whispering that Beyoncé wasn't just side-eyeing Blue's chart success, she was watching her chemistry with Jay too. Blue always brushed it off, saying they were just friends. But then came that Wendy Williams interview. Wendy hit her with the big question, did anything ever happen between her and Jay-Z? Instead of shutting it down, Blue laughed nervously and dodged it completely. That moment lit the rumor mill on fire. What was she not saying? And after that awkward Wendy moment, things started spiraling fast for Blue. Not long after that interview, her presence in the music scene began to fade, almost like someone wanted her out of the spotlight.
Romantically?
No. No, I can't answer that. I can't answer that. Why do people not want to let the Jay-Z Blu Cantrell?
Fans were confused. How does someone with 2 Grammy nominations and chart-topping hits suddenly vanish? But here's where it gets even stranger. In 2014, Blue made headlines again, but not for a comeback. She was found wandering the streets of Santa Monica, barefoot and clearly distressed, shouting that, "Someone poisoned me!" Witnesses said she was talking to herself and appeared paranoid, like she thought someone was after her. Cops eventually detained her and took her in for a mental health evaluation. But the whole incident had people talking. Was this a mental health crisis? Or did she actually know something she wasn't supposed to say out loud? Some folks believe Blue might have been blackballed by major industry players, maybe even silenced. Others think the pressure, rumors, and betrayal just broke her. But one thing's for sure. She didn't just fade away. Something happened. And while Beyoncé and Jay-Z never addressed any of these rumors, the timeline still raises serious questions. Was Blu Cantrell just another artist who got too close to the wrong power couple? Or did she fall victim to an industry that chews people up and spits them out? Too many things don't add up, and people are still connecting the dots. What really happened to Blu Cantrell after her sudden fall from the spotlight? That's the million-dollar mystery, and the deeper you dig, the wilder it gets. After her breakdown in 2014, Blue basically vanished from the public eye. No new music, no appearances, no updates. Just silence. And in an industry where people always find a way to resurface, her complete disappearance felt off. Some insiders claim she tried to make a comeback, but doors were being slammed in her face left and right, almost like she was being shut out on purpose. And let's not forget, Blue was once rubbing shoulders with some of the most powerful names in the game. But after her alleged closeness with Jay-Z and those swirling rumors about Beyoncé not being too happy about it, her entire trajectory changed overnight. Fans have long speculated that Blue got caught in the crossfire of music's most untouchable couple and paid the price. Even now, when her name comes up, it's followed by whispers. She knew too much. They ruined her career. She was a threat. Whether it's industry politics, personal vendettas, or just tragic timing, something clearly pushed Blue out of the game. And the craziest part? Nobody's ever come forward to clear the air. Not Blue, not Jay, not Beyoncé. That silence, it speaks volumes. Whatever went down behind closed doors, it left one thing behind, a mystery the industry still pretends never happened. To this day, Blu Cantrell's story feels like it was buried on purpose, like someone didn't want the full truth out. And the more you line up the timeline, the more it feels like her downfall wasn't just bad luck. It was engineered. Think about it. 1 minute, she's charting with Grammy noms, getting praised by critics, and rumored to be tight with one of the most powerful men in music. Then suddenly, Beyoncé enters the picture, Blue drops off the radar, and Jay-Z skyrockets into full-on mogul status. All within a few short years? That's no small coincidence. Some fans online have gone full detective mode, digging through old interviews, leaked footage, and industry gossip, and the pattern they're seeing? Anyone who gets too close to exposing something or threatens the golden image of the power couple ends up erased or blacklisted. And let's be real, Hollywood and the music biz have always had their dark side. Cover-ups, sabotage, shady backroom deals. It's nothing new. But when it happens quietly, to someone like Blue, with no big public scandal or explanation, it's even creepier. People are still wondering, did Blue try to speak up and get shut down? Was her breakdown triggered by fear, betrayal, or something even deeper? Whatever the truth is, she deserved more than to just be forgotten. And maybe now, it's finally time her side of the story got heard loud and clear. So why is it that people still can't let go of the drama between Jay-Z, Blu Cantrell, and Beyoncé? Simple. Because the more you hear, the messier it gets. Even Wendy Williams threw fuel on the fire when she hinted that Jay might have dropped Blue for Beyoncé because Blue was too strong-minded, and Beyoncé at the time seemed easier to mold and control. But things really hit the fan after Bey and Jay dropped their 2003 Bonnie and Clyde music video. Blue clapped back fast. She accused them of straight-up copying the visual concept from her own promo for Roundup, which, let's be clear, dropped before theirs ever did. And that wasn't the only time Blue felt like Beyoncé was stepping on her creative toes. In late 2002, Blue dropped her track Breathe with Sean Paul. And just months later, Beyoncé dropped Baby Boy, also with Sean Paul. And if that wasn't shady enough, Bey sings the line, "Let me breathe," right in the chorus. Really? Coincidence? Maybe. But it doesn't stop there. On Beyoncé's debut album, the song Signs features lyrics that had fans doing double takes. I was in love with a Sagittarius. I've been hurt by a Pisces. Guess what? Jay-Z is a Sagittarius. And Blu Cantrell? Pisces? You can't make this stuff up. When The Guardian asked Blue about all these coincidences back in 2003, she didn't hold back. She said, "I'm an adult, she's younger. If she's doing what you're saying, then she's being a little immature." Then she hit Beyoncé with a warning shot. Maybe she's trying to do it to get press, but I want to make her understand. If she goes there with me, it's the wrong move. She needs to understand what she's doing and what she's getting into. That's what Blu Cantrell said when asked if she thought Beyoncé was taking subliminal shots at her. And instead of throwing shade back, Blue kept it classy and bold. If she is being negative, she doesn't need to be because she's a beautiful girl. But if you have issues with your man, address it with the guy. Don't take it out on the girl. Phew. Sounds like Blue was hinting at something deeper. Like maybe Beyoncé felt threatened because Jay-Z still had some leftover feelings for Blue. And if that's true, it makes people look twice at why Jay and Bey named their first daughter Blue. Was it a nod to a past flame? Or just another eerie coincidence? But if naming your child after someone your partner was once close to seems off, what happened next was downright scary. Right after Blue warned Beyoncé to back off, things took a dark turn. In September 2014, Blue was found wandering the streets of Santa Monica at 2 a.m., yelling that someone had poisoned her with gas. According to TMZ, she was clearly panicked, and someone eventually called the police. She was taken in for a mental health check, but by then, the damage was done. Not long after, her label dropped her. And her comeback? It never happened. She'd been talking about a third studio album as far back as 2013, saying she was working independently. But to this day, that album still hasn't surfaced. So now the question is getting louder. Did Jay-Z and Beyoncé quietly shut Blue out of the industry? People in the game, like Jay's former background singer Jaguar Wright, sure think something shady went down? Jaguar Wright didn't hold back when she started calling out how certain artists' careers seemed to crash right after crossing paths with Jay-Z and Beyoncé. She claimed that anyone seen as potential competition often ended up in some very suspicious situations, like their careers vanished overnight, or worse. One example she brought up? Eric Sermon, a former Def Jam artist, who allegedly jumped from a third-story window in September 2001, the same exact month Jay-Z dropped The Blueprint. Now, police reports claimed it was a self-inflicted incident, but Sermon himself later denied that. Jaguar even suggested it wasn't just a fall. They said he had help. Then Jaguar turned her attention straight to Blu Cantrell, urging her to speak her truth about what really went down with Jay-Z. And guess what? Blu did speak up. In a resurfaced interview, she hinted hard that her career wasn't derailed by accident. While she didn't drop any names, probably to avoid legal drama, it was crystal clear who she was talking about. Blu revealed that after the whole Beyoncé-Jay-Z drama, everything changed. She said she started having issues with her label, Arista Records. They forgot to renew her contract, and when she got legal help, that same lawyer ended up representing the label, a full-on conflict of interest. They were all working together to basically take what was mine, she said. Blu added, "Nobody really knows the whole truth but me and them, but I was really taken advantage of. And now fans are connecting the dots. Blu isn't the only one. Artists like Mia, Ameri, Taira Marie, and Carrie Hilson also saw their careers crumble after being painted as Beyoncé's rivals. One fan even compared Blu's mental breakdown to what happened with Martin Lawrence, suggesting that when you get too close to the truth in the industry, things start falling apart fast. People are saying the industry doesn't just blacklist artists, it destroys them if they don't play along. These companies really try to kill off their artists and actors if they don't comply," one user wrote. Another added, "Jay-Z's name pops up way too often in these 'where are they now?' stories about female artists. Karma never forgets." But now we want to hear from you. Do you think Beyoncé really had something to do with Blu Cantrell's sudden disappearance from the spotlight? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, share this with someone who needs to see it, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.